reverse engineering your freedom. You probably already heard that you need to reverse engineer success. You can reverse engineer your goals or your KPIs. And that's exactly what we are going to talk about. What that is all about and why this is so important, and of course, how you can do it. Welcome to Freedom Entrepreneurship, where we are answering one question. How can we have both growth and freedom? Or if you are lacking freedom at the moment, how can you regain freedom? My name is Stephan Poschik. Let's get started. If you did not know who I am or never heard one of my shows before, I'm the CEO of the CHC Group. And over the last 25 plus years, I already founded 8 different companies. And at the moment, I'm running 6 of these companies. And I built companies differently. I built companies the wrong way. I made probably all mistakes I could find on my way. And then I needed to pivot, and I was forced to pivot. And then I also built companies the right way. And so for me, the topic freedom became a very, very, very important thing. And with all the consulting and coaching we are doing in 27 different countries, we hear, especially around the topic freedom, that so many business owners struggle. But on the other hand side, most business owners want to have exactly that. They want to have the freedom. They want to have the life. They don't want to be stuck in their company. And that's why we are going to deep dive today into something that's called reverse engineering your freedom. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Probably you already heard about reverse engineering a goal, reverse engineering numbers and things like that. Yes, what is reverse engineering in general? When you are a business owner and when you are growing to the next level of success, or when you are growing to the next stage in your entrepreneurial journey, probably you are hiring the next couple of team members, probably you are building a new department, you are launching a new product, you are launching a new revenue stream. Then, of course, you can just do it like I did it at the beginning, trial and error, which is probably the most expensive way on how you can do something and how you can try something new as an entrepreneur. Because one of my coaches and mentors always says, you don't know what you don't know. And it's true. You are going to run into issues. You are going to run into situations you didn't even think about because you never had been in this situation before as an entrepreneur. So what is a much better way to build something new or to grow to the next stage? That you're basically taking a look what other people already did successfully in your industry, and then you model what they are doing. So basically you reverse engineer what they did and you apply it into your company. And you can also do this with products, for example. I mean, a lot of very successful companies did this. They basically took a product, they completely picked it apart, they looked what pieces are in this product, and then they basically rebuilt it in a slightly different way, and they made just a better product. So this is called reverse engineering. And now let's talk about reverse engineering our freedom. What does this mean? When you are in a situation that you are not completely free as a business owner, that you are dependent on a lot of things, that your company needs a lot of time, needs a lot of effort from you, you are stuck in a lot of roles you probably don't want to do anymore, you need to take a look, okay, how do you want to have your life in 1 year, in 3 years, or in 10 years? And I'm not talking about specific goals at the moment. I just talk about, okay, how should your life look like? What are you doing in 1 year from now? What is your Monday morning look like? What is your Wednesday morning look like? What are you doing on the weekends? How long are you working during the day? When do you start? Are you going to do a lunch break? How often are you going on vacation? Are you going to be in the same role like you are now in your business? So really think about your personal vision of your life in a year from now. And the interesting part is you can do this not only for the business, but you can also do this for all their life areas. In past shows, I talked about the concept of the life wheel, where we are talking about 8 different areas that are crucial and very important in our life. So you can think about that also in these other areas. And then when you know, okay, my life in 1 year from now looks like X, Y, Z. That's the perfect ideal outcome I want to achieve. Now you can think about, okay, what needs to change in the next 12 months to accomplish this goal? How much more money do I need to generate with my company? How much more customers do we need to generate? How much more people or team members do we need to have? Probably you need to have different skill sets in your company. So you probably need to switch certain roles inside of your company. Probably you need to establish a leader or another layer of leadership in your company. Because when you are above 10 to 12 people, you should start to establish new leaders in your role, in your company. And you should not be the only leader for 20, 30, 40 people in your company anymore. So really deep dive into that. Okay, how is the future looking like for you? And then reverse engineer what needs to be done over the next 12 months. So then you have like the milestones over the next 12 months. And when you have the milestones, okay, then you just apply standard things, what you are doing in projects or in your business anyway. Like, okay, you are setting a target, you are setting a timeline, you are basically mapping out the to-dos, the tasks, or the project you need to accomplish to achieve these different milestones. Now let me give you a very specific example what reverse engineer can do to your business and can do for your business. And let's use sales for a moment, okay? So most likely you already have a bunch of customers or you had a bunch of customers from the past because you are not a startup, you are not starting out, you are not a business owner or a solopreneur who just started your business. Now the big question is, do you know your KPIs? And are you analyzing your KPIs? So what does this mean? What are KPIs? These are key performance indicators, and I'm going to deep dive into that in a separate show in the future. But just for today, a key performance indicator would be, okay, how many leads do I have? How many conversations do I need to have with my leads to be able to schedule an appointment, a sales appointment, or a demo? Yeah? How many demos, so sales appointments, do I need to have to put how many proposals out? Okay, how many proposals do I need to put out to close one customer? What's the average amount of money I close in the first deal, and on and on and on and on. This is one of the most valuable data sources you have sitting around in your company. Because now you can start to reverse engineer your future goal and your future freedom. So let's use these numbers from the past and just figure out the numbers I already gave you. So how many deals, how many appointments do you need, and on and on. And then you get to a point where you know, okay, let's say you have to do 5 sales meetings to put out 4 proposals to close 1 customer. Okay, awesome, wonderful. Now, how much money are you collecting or how much money are you making with this one deal? And to give you a super simple example, let's say you are selling 10,000 in one deal. That's the average first deal you are closing. Good. 10,000 means how much money do you want to generate per month or per year? When you want to generate, let's say, 100K per month, okay, you need to have 10 deals like that, right? 10 multiplied by 10,000 is 100K. That's a monthly revenue. When you want to generate 1 million, okay, good. You just need to have more. You just need to have 100 deals closed every single month. Yeah. And when you know how many deals you need to close to get to your revenue number, what you want to hit, to get to your revenue goal, now you can basically just reverse engineer. Okay, you need to have how many deals out, how many proposals, how many quotes you need to send out to close 10 deals. So when we take the example from before, 10 deals, 1 out of 4 you are closing, 10 by 4, 40. So every single month, you need to send out or be able to prepare 40 deals, quotes, proposals. Okay, now how many meetings do you need to have, or your team members, okay? How many meetings do you need to have to get to 40 deals you send out every single month? How many conversations do you need to have? How many leads do you need to talk to be able to do that? And then suddenly you know exactly the number, how many leads you need to have, or how many conversations you and your team need to have to get to your revenue goal. And suddenly your business becomes predictable. And this is something where a lot of business owners are stuck, and a lot of departments or a lot of areas in business are stuck typically. Why? Because, okay, we are doing something and we hope that there is some outcome. Okay, we are not measuring the results or the way to get to the outcome, and then we are doing something different and we hope we get to an outcome. So this is exactly where you can be stuck and where you can lack freedom for the rest of your life as a business owner. As long as you do not implement things like that, and you start to reverse engineer your freedom, and you start to reverse engineer your numbers in your business, you will never have the full freedom, because it's always guesswork. It's never predictable. It's never that you can set a specific target for your team members, let's say for your marketing team or for your sales team. And if you cannot even set a specific target or a specific number for your marketing and for your sales team, how should they become successful? They don't even know what are the numbers, or they don't even know how much they need to accomplish to get to the end result. And that's how you can reverse engineer freedom. And if you do not have these numbers yet, no problem. Make sure you are tracking exactly the amount of activities you are doing and exactly the amount of results. I give you an example. A couple of days ago, I worked with my team members and I was analyzing a revenue stream within one of my companies. And we basically were tracking the last 4 months, very detailed. And based on the data we generated over the last 4 months, we came to a point where we said, okay, the numbers are like the following. At the moment, we are closing in this specific revenue stream, we are closing about 8.6% of the deals based on the deal size. Okay, so 8.6%. So let's say we send out a million in deals, 8.6%. We are basically closing 86K. Yeah, good. So that's a number. First of all, you just need to have this number. And it's not important if this number is good or not good. This is something you can do in the next step to really reverse engineer your freedom. But that's what the last 4 months basically showed. And the next thing is, because one of the major focus topics in my companies is how much money can we collect in the first months, or how is our cash flow? Because that's often way more interesting or way more important than just the revenue you're generating. Okay, so we looked at the money collection for this specific revenue stream, and we figured out, okay, that money collection in the first month is nearly 60%. Okay, so now we have the baseline. So now we know the revenue collection in the first month after closing the deal is about 60%. And we are closing in this specific revenue stream about 8.6%. Good. Guess what the next goal is? Now we looked at our other revenue streams, at our other marketing sales KPIs, And we know that we have a bunch of areas where we have over 12% closing rate, where we have over 15% closing rate, where we even collect 70 to 80% in the first month. So now we saw, okay, this revenue stream, or basically this area, okay, this is working. So we have proof of concept, but the numbers are not great. Okay, good. But now we know what's going on. Now we know exactly where we can improve. So now the next goal, guess what, is going to be, we want to increase the closing rate. Because same effort, much more outcome. So we don't want to just do more and hustle more, and I don't want to hire more people and more people and more people, that we just have more production. I want to make with the same effort a better outcome. I want to do this myself. I also expect this from my team members, and we are also working on these areas a lot internally. Why? Because this is going to set me as the business owner free. So now we are going to focus on, okay, how can we increase the 8.6% closing rate to 10%, and then to 12%, and then maybe even to 15%? And how can we make sure that we probably even collect more money immediately after closing the deal? So what can we change in our terms and conditions? What can we change in our negotiation? Can we give some additional bonuses to incentivize our customers that we collect the whole money upfront? Okay, but this is because we know what is going on. This is because we are reverse engineering. We are constantly looking, okay, this is where we want to go. This is where we want to be. This is where I personally want to be in a year from now as the owner and as the CEO of my company group. Okay, so I know these were a lot of numbers, but based on numbers, it's just easier to explain that. On the other hand side, you can also do this with your time you are investing. You can also do this with the number of team members. I know it's again a number, but look, marketing and sales, at the end of the day, it's only a numbers game. And if you don't like numbers, and if you are not, if numbers are not a strong suit, you just need to have somebody in your team and get some help, or you need to have a coach or a mentor who is going to help you with these numbers. So reverse engineering freedom, the whole purpose of that is, okay, where I am now, where do I want to be in the future? So in 1 year from now, in 3 years from now, in 10 years from now. When I know exactly where I want to be in 1 year from now, okay, what needs to happen over the next 12 months? What milestones do I need to achieve? What do I need to change in my team? What do I need to change revenue-wise? What do I need to change profit-wise? What do I need to change internally, probably from my operations, from my processes, from my business architecture? Maybe I can implement AI, or maybe I can automate more. So what do I need to do to accomplish the goal in 1 year from now? When you are doing that, then you will have so much more freedom compared to where you are probably right now, or where you probably think you can go as a business owner. And if you have additional questions around that, and also how you can structure that, and what are the 4 most important pillars to really reverse engineer your business, then download my white paper. Because you can download the white paper around Freedom Entrepreneurship for free. You find it in the show notes, or you just find me on LinkedIn with my name, Stephan Poschik. This is Stephan with a P and an H, and Poschik, this is Poschik. The good thing is there is just one Stephan Poschik out on LinkedIn, so I'm pretty easy to find, and DM me freedom. And I'm super happy to send you the white paper. Till then, I'm looking forward to our next show, and I wish you a lot of success and all the freedom you deserve as a business owner. Thanks for now. Talk soon.